public, stressing the need for careful handling of such sensitive matters.
Nobody asked the Attorney General to spray us with such information. So now that you publicly have stated what these people have been involved in, the confiscation with which you have done your investigations, and people are saying that if it is indeed true that what you told us, you believe in them, and you cannot tell us that you did not conclude investigations before informing the public. So who is putting pressure on who now? Because you invited this. If you were going to your court smoothly, we will not get to know. But you point out properties, and yesterday, just imagine the number of properties that he pointed out regarding the former CEO of the National Buffer Stock. So when we say go and prosecute, you are delaying in the prosecution, you come and tell us that no, it requires thorough investigations. So what you are telling us is that you did not do thorough investigations before you came out with these public pronouncements. And that is why it elicited response from Hananda. Look, these informations you put up came to him as a surprise, and that you are geared towards tarnishing his image. Attorney General should tone down. Bro, tone down.
Well, adding to the discussion, former CEO of the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, Kofi Ofusu Nkansa, expressed disappointment in the Attorney General's approach. According to Mr. Nkansa, the Attorney General and his deputy have effectively reversed the principle of innocent until proven guilty, undermining fundamental legal rights.
I am very disappointed in both the AG and his deputy. I mean, I'm just a layman. I don't qualify to advise them. Both of them are professors of the law, and they are also experienced practitioners. So we expected them to do better. Nobody is saying you don't come out to give updates of the pending cases, but go through the due process. Don't use derogatory language. Come and tell us what charges you have filed and what you're expecting from the court. This is what former AGs, Gofedami and Gloria Kufo did. 19 convictions were secured in the last 8 years. In the Venture Capital Fund case, the National Communications Authority NCA case, Maslow case, and then the Capital Bank case. But we didn't see this media matters associated with those cases. What mattered most was that in the Venture Capital case, for instance, anything that was recoverable was gotten back into the state coffers. The assets were frozen and all that. But you don't come out and pronounce suspects guilty as if, people are giving mob justice at Kaneshi Market or Kejetia Market. I think that is what the AG and his deputy are doing, and it's very, very unfortunate. It is not too late. They should focus on the prosecutions. I will not come and sit here and defend anybody who has embezzled state funds.
Member of Parliament for Afajatu South, Frank Ifriye, believes otherwise as he has defended the office of the Attorney General. According to him, making information of alleged theft public is very essential to hold public officials accountable.
The AG, just like other ministers, has had his tenure and had to account to the real owners of this country, the ordinary citizens whose tax, oils the wheels of government. That look, this is where we have got to. Something definitely, a lot is being done. There are cases now before the court. You talk about the SkyTrain issue, which has to do with about $2 million. You talk about the national service scandal, which had to do with excess of 500 million Ghana cedis. Really? Okay, thanks for the correction. You talk about some other cases that are already ongoing in court. Unfortunately, there is a Chinese wall between where the Attorney General's work begins, continues, and probably ends. He is not the final arbiter. He's not the final person who will pronounce judgment. And so the pace at which these cases are resolved at the law court also gives us food for thought.
Former CEO of the National Buffer Stock Company Limited, Hanan Abdul Wahab, and his wife, Faiza Said-Wuni, and others are set to have their day in court for prosecution as Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine announced that the accused persons will be charged over 78 million cedis theft from the company. The Attorney General, providing updates on the case involving several other high-profile scandals, stated that the charges for stealing, conspiracy to steal, and other offences will be officially filed on Friday, October 24, 2025. There's more in the following reports.
The Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, says investigations have uncovered what he termed as an elaborate criminal network run by former Buffer Stock Company CEO Hanan Abdul Wahab between 2018 and 2024. Evidence the Attorney General revealed shows millions of cedis were channeled into companies owned by the embattled former CEO and his wife Faiza Said-Wuni.
Within the period between 2017 and 2024, Mr. Abdul Wahab, in concert with Richard Samasanti and Bismarck Owusu-Boakye, orchestrated a transfer of 28 million
and launder proceeds of crime from Buffer Stock.
Evidence shows that between December 2017 and May 2019, Hanan Abdul Wahab transferred 5,495,780 Ghana cedis and 36 pesos from Buffer Stock company accounts to two bank accounts belonging to Aludiba Enterprise, one of his companies at Republic Bank and ABSA. Aludiba Enterprise is not a registered supplier of Buffer Stock Company. Hanan Abdul Wahab between 2019 to January 2022 also orchestrated some suppliers to transfer an amount of 11,998,830 Ghana cedis, 48 pesos to an entity owned by a staff of Buffer Stock, and later instructed the staff to retransfer the funds to a company owned and run by himself and his wife.
He added that the laundering trail led to massive property acquisition across the country, from prime real estate to luxury assets, all purchased through same web of companies. The Attorney General further disclosed that bank records from EOCO show Hanan Abdul Wahab, his wife, and their entities became the single largest depositors at Republic Bank during the years they operated the criminal enterprise.
A 17-bedroom boutique hotel at Gumani in Tamale, in respect of which the couple used Fauza Company Limited to sign a franchise with Villa Monticello for the price of $250,000. In other words, $250,000. There is a 4-bedroom bungalow situated at GHOne, Accra, valued at 4.1 million cedis. 3-story building that is a Chicken Republic, the Chicken Republic building in Tamale, situated at Estate Junction, Tamale. 5-bedroom mansion at Canville, Dorado Street, Tamale. 3-bedroom house, Palissy, Tamale. 1-story building, number 10 Selby Gardens, Achimota, Accra. Then a 0.27 acre plot of land, Estate Junction, Tamale. 0.29 acre of land, close to Workers College, Tamale. We have also frozen all these assets and will be taking steps to have them confiscated to the state in the course of the criminal proceedings.
However, the Attorney General further disclosed that under interrogation, Faiza Wuni disclosed she was only a housewife and did not engage in any business. Meanwhile, Dr. Ayine also revealed that properties have been frozen and the couple and their collaborators will be formally charged for stealing, conspiracy to steal, and other offences on Friday, October 24, 2025.
Well, the man at the center of all of this, Abdul Wahab Hanan, has described the claims by the Attorney General as untrue. In a statement, he further indicated his non-involvement in the issues being referred to. Now, let me share details of exactly what he said, and you find that on the screen. And I read, "My attention has been drawn to recent statements made by the Honorable Attorney General during a press engagement in which my name was mentioned in connection with allegations of corruption. I wish to state respectfully that these claims are untrue and do not reflect the facts of the matter. I have no involvement in the issues being referred to, and I find the comments deeply unfortunate. I have asked my legal representatives to review the situation and to advise on the appropriate steps to protect my reputation. I look forward to the opportunity to present my side and to have my day in court, where I am confident that the truth will be made clear." So he also goes on to say that he remains fully committed to the principles of honesty, transparency, and integrity that have guided his work throughout his career. So this is the official response of the former Buffer Stock CEO, Abdul Wahab, on his social media pages that we have brought to you. Well, the Attorney General says that tomorrow, Friday, the 24th of October, 2025, he will officially file these charges against the former Buffer Stock CEO and his wife. Let's have a conversation on this. Anti-graft campaigner Edem Senanu is urging President John Dramani Mahama to consider specialized court to expedite prosecutions on corruption. This comes as Attorney General Dominic Ayine announced former CEO of the National Buffer Stock Company Limited, Abdul Hanan, and his wife, as well as former chiefs of the National Service Authorities, of being complicit in corrupt activities and stealing of public funds. Edem Senanu believes specialized courts will ensure expedited processes of such cases.
It's good to note that Gifty came back. Others chose not to come back.
Hi, Dole.
And that she is being accountable. It's also good that the AG has managed to proceed to this point. They are in court. Let the evidence be given and let's see what the courts will do. I'm satisfied at the work done so far. The oral has so many more cases. If it is possible that the decision of the president to have specialized courts to be sped up, so that instead of courts perhaps sitting monthly, they sit daily on these issues, as is done elsewhere, like in Kenya and Zambia. I think that will also allow us to get additional speed. It may be too soon, but I think that if that decision of the president could be executed as soon as possible, it will allow those many other cases also see the light of day, and we'll get some solutions, some sanctions, some rulings on those cases as soon as possible.
Well, let's actually now have a conversation on this. Joining me on phone is anti-graft campaigner Vitus Azim on the AG's processes so far. Mr. Azim, thank you very much for your time. As worrying as these allegations sound, there are those who have condemned the activities and the actions of the AG, saying that he's engaging in public prosecution. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't agree with that. He's just telling us the findings of the investigation that they have conducted. That doesn't mean he's prosecuting them publicly. They have not yet been called to defend. They have not been called to defend themselves in public. There's no judge sitting over the cases, and the Attorney General is not a judge. So I don't want to agree that he's engaging in public prosecution. He doesn't want to take people to court and then they'll come out questioning, why have you arrested people? The special forces have gone to arrest people in the night without any basis. So he just tells us that if you hear that these people are arrested, this is why we've arrested them, and these are the reasons. We are going to proceed to prosecution.
But Mr. Azim, we keep hearing this every year, every time there's a change in government, that all of these corrupt activities went on. And sometimes it takes forever to get these cases prosecuted. We have seen people advocate for specialized courts to push for expedite prosecution. Do you agree with those calls?
Well, yes, because our court process takes so long to end. If we can have specialized anti-corruption courts that have time limits, like if a case works for the court, it should be done within 6 months. Definitely, it will help to speed up these cases. So I agree with what Senano was saying, and I think that I agree with the president's decision or intention to have specialized courts to speed up these cases.
But what do you say to those who have expressed fear that once a specialized court has been set up for these kind of cases, it means that the persons will at all costs be found guilty?
Why? Is the person not going to be allowed to become with court, have lawyers? Will the attorney general not have to produce evidence? I'm surprised that people should be thinking like this. They're specialized courts just because you want to speed up. And they want probably people who have more knowledge about corruption and ways of fighting corruption. So it's not like you're just going to come there like the public tribunals we had some time ago. I don't think so.
Okay, finally, Mr. Azim, I'm wondering, you've been fighting or being an anti-graft campaigner for a very long time, but we still have corruption very deeply rooted in our governance. Do you envisage a Ghana where corruption will be a thing of the past? Do you see it coming?
Not at all. When you look at the Corruption Index of Transparency International, no country has ever scored 100.
Right.
The closest has been 99 or something, or 92. So no matter what we do, we should not think that corruption will just be eliminated completely from Ghana. No, we might be able to reduce it. We might be able to save the cost of the costs that are being, the money that are being looted. But I don't think that we expect that we'll be able to just eliminate corruption completely. No, it's not possible.
Thank you very much. Vitus Azim is an anti-graft campaigner. Well, away from that, the minority leader in Parliament, Alexander Penyumaking, has taken a swipe at the governing NDC, accusing the party of hypocrisy and inconsistency in its stance on the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill, widely known as the anti-LGBTQ bill. His remarks came during a heated parliamentary session on Wednesday, October 22, 2025, after members of Parliament noticed that the contentious bill, which had been listed on Tuesday's order paper, was absent from Wednesday's agenda.
Now, the chickens have come home to roost. They have come home. Please. Only yesterday, when we were raising this issue, Mr. Speaker, you were saying that the bill must pass. Now you are in government, you are in the hot seat. When the IMF, the World Bank, IPU threatening, you are now running away, you are saying procedure. Which mistake? There was nothing administratively in error. I dare say for the records. You force LGBT on the throat of the Akufo-Addo government. Today, you don't want LGBT. You would want it. Mube pepper. Mube pepper, papa, papa, papa. You use it to win election. Now, when your stakeholders, the international community is warning you, you want to run away. Run to where?
On this, former PNC flag-bearer aspirant Bernard Mona has shared his views on the ongoing controversy surrounding the LGBTQ plus bill. He argued that if the majority leader insists that the bill has already been passed, then the president should promptly assent to it to dispel perceptions that Ghana elected a weak or indecisive leader. Mr. Mona made these remarks with me on GH Today.
That President John Dramani Mahama, in opposition, indicated that if this bill was brought to his desk, he would sign it immediately. And I also recall that when another pronouncement was made when he won the elections, he intimated that the rules would require that since President Akufo-Addo did not sign and his regime had elapsed, it will require a reintroduction of the bill. In that, the president indicated that he was going to cause the executive to introduce it instead of the bill going through as a private member's bill. I am at a loss that the majority leader will now say that the bill is already passed by Parliament and that it's with the presidency and only requires presidential assent. President Mahama should assent to the bill today. If they are both speaking the truth, in order that we assert our independence and authority, then President Mahama must sign the bill today to dispel any notion that we elect leaders that are lightweight.
Let's take you to the court now. And the High Court in Accra has ordered state prosecutors to file their responses to an interlocutory injunction filed by Democracy Hub LBG against the Minister for the Interior, the Ghana Immigration Service, and the Attorney General with 14 days. The action seeks to restrain the government from deporting Chinese and other the office had written to the other respondents for their comments, which were yet to be received, for them to prepare for the case. Counsel for Democracy Hub, led by Oliver Baka-Vomawo, said the case was filed on June 16 and the state entered appearance on July 17. To this, he said the injunction application ought to be dealt with urgency and suggested they could oblige them for a week. Justice Reverend George Akins, the presiding judge, said no processes had been filed since the case was served on the AG, except the entry of appearance on July 17. Let's speak with our court correspondent now, Mutala Inusa. Mutala, thank you very much for your time. What more do you have for us? Hello, Mutala. Okay, we apologize for that. We'll try and rework the lines and have a conversation with my colleague, Mutala Inusa.
Hello.
Mutala, can you hear me? Hello, Mutala, can you hear me? Okay, Mutala cannot hear me, but still in court, former Director General of the National Signals Bureau, Kwame Edubuahing, and his lawyers have filed a motion at the Supreme Court to prohibit the trial judge in the 49.1 million Ghana cedi trial. The reasoning behind it, we'll find out from Mutala if we're able to connect with him. Mutala, can you hear me? I'm going to try one more time. Hello, Mutala. Okay, we apologize for that. Away to other stories now. The chief of Kade in the eastern region, Osabere Ma Ejare Tenedu II, has officially submitted a statement confirming his abdication to the relevant traditional authorities following his announcement during a gathering at his palace yesterday. In the statement, he explained that his decision was motivated by a desire to ensure unity, peace, and the development of Kade and Ochiman.
Bibi a esa me dema ho de bua bisika bua adaje be di beba abebua na emom efi na ekọ me nye kede ni bio me ba mi
I'm sure that many of you are wondering what exactly is going on. Let's speak with the nephew of the chief, Kwabena Kunedu, who also speaks for the chief. Nana Kunedu, thank you very much for your time. So please make us understand, what exactly is the reasoning behind the decision of your uncle?
Hello.
Hello, Nana Kunedu. Hello, Nana Kunedu.
Yeah, hello.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Okay. So Nana Kunedu speaks for the chief and is also the nephew of the chief. Nana, please tell us, what exactly informed the decision of the chief to abdicate his stool?
All right, as I'm speaking now, what happened yesterday was very true, which happened at Kade in the eastern region, which is located at the Kwaibi Municipal. What I've been to do is the chief of Kade since 2004 to date. Yesterday, as you all know, in the Atim land was a Ukudaya, which is a festival that we used to celebrate. And yesterday, when we came, due to some alleged issues which were attacked by the chief from 2011, they went to the Otinhe and then decided to destool him. But later on, he stood up and said he was not going to get down. So yesterday, we all didn't know what happened. And it has been a court case from 2011 to 2025. And I think it is enough for him. So when he came to the palace, he called the whole family and said, although he's still a royal, and then he can't also be a chief again due to all these chieftaincy disputes. So for him to stay safe, he decided to drop down, and then I think that is the case.
Okay, but what does the custom of the area say? Because we are aware of decided cases that when a chief decides to abdicate a stool, it is not valid, completely valid, until the elders of the stool have accepted or agree that he abdicates the stool. Is that the custom of the place?
Okay, for now, since 2011, it seems for the family, even the family has divided into two, whereby we have the Busuapeni, the Queen Mother, and also the Krontihe being form one team who were fighting against the chief. So I think for them, they took their decision from about 2011, coming down to 2025 as I am talking now.
Does it mean that the family does not recognize your uncle as the chief?
Okay, for the family, as I was saying, it has been divided into two. Half of the family does not recognize him as the chief, whereby they brought another chief from 2011, serving Kediman as a chief, whereby no one knows that that person is the chief. But for them, they know that they brought a new chief. And other side of the family too recognize my uncle to be the chief of Kade. So it got to a time, Kade, I think we had two chiefs, whereby court was ruling these issues from 2011 down to 2025.
Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Okay.
Kwabena Kunedu is the nephew of the chief of Kade and also speaks for the chief as well. Let's continue with this conversation. Joining me is a historian and lawyer, Frimpong Anoche. Thank you very much for joining me. Now, explain to us, when they say that a chief has abdicated his stool in Ghanaian customary law, what exactly does it mean?
It means that without reference to the kingmakers, he has destooled himself, which under customary law is acceptable. See, we have two ways of kicking you out of the stool, or let me say three. The first one is the natural one, that when you are placed on the stool, it is anticipated that you will continue to exercise your functions as a chief until you die. So death is the most plausible one, which everyone understands. The second one is that if you do not govern or rule or perform according to the tenets of the of that community, then it means you have gone against the oath of office that you took. Because as you know, when we define who is a chief in Ghana, we talk about your selection, your nomination, your installment or enskinment, and then the outdooring. That is to say, it is a public event. People get to know this is our chief, and you swear the oath of allegiance to the people. So at any point in time when they believe that you have gone against it and that against your vows and that they cannot pardon you in any manner, then the kingmakers, and that is solely the province of the kingmakers. It is only the kingmakers, those who place you on the stool, who can also destool you, not your paramount chief, not the youth of the town, and not the president, nobody apart from the kingmakers of that stool who place the chief on the stool. They are the only people who can also destool him. Then the third one is where, for any reason, and you may decide not to assign any reason and say that I have abdicated. It means enough is enough, and nobody can compel you to continue as a chief if you don't want to be a chief, except that maybe because you have done them so much good a service, they will want to plead with you. Otherwise, once you decide to abdicate, that is the end of it. And then the kingmakers, together with the queen mother and the head of family, will have to look for another candidate for your stead.
Okay. Now, you give all these instances, Counsel, but I have also cited a decided case where, I don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you are a historian as well, where the criteria for the valid abdication of a chief, in this case where it is voluntary, is for the kingmakers and the elders to accept or agree that the abdication has gone through. Is that the case here, or this announcement of it makes it valid and final that the stool is abdicated?
As I said, it was implicit in my statement that if you are...
Sorry, I'm sorry, but I didn't get that.
That if you want to abdicate, you have to abdicate to your kingmakers. You notify the kingmakers. You don't do press conference. You don't do anything. It is between you, the kingmakers, and the kingmakers here, I also mean your head of family, the head of the royal family, and then the queen mother of the community. She is also the Obapeni or Abiwetia of the royal family. So the queen mother, the head of family, then the kingmakers, you tell them that you are not interested in continuing. And that means it is voluntary. If somebody wants to force you out, it is not abdication, because abdication is voluntary. And then two, you cannot just come and stand in public or sit anywhere and say that you have abdicated. It must be accepted by the kingmakers. And then I said that if for any reason they want to object to that, they want to refuse it, they would only plead with you. Because at the end of it all, it takes only the chief to continue to govern his people as a chief. If he decides to abdicate and does not even inform anybody, at the end of it, the court, and for that matter, the law, would accept the state of mind of the person. If somebody is your chief and he says, and leaves the country and go and stay in the United States or another country for 5 years, 10 years, are you saying that because he has not announced it to anybody, the stool should remain vacant? No. So even though abdication should follow procedure, because it goes with rituals, they will have to slaughter a sheep. They have to go through some rituals in order that the gods will release you. And then if you have any family properties with you, you will lawfully give everything back to them. That notwithstanding, a chief can decide not to go through the procedure. But in that case, because they have not formally accepted your abdication, they will rather go ahead to distool you. And when they distool you, it can, the consequences can be very grave. We said that the consequences can be very grave because among the accounts, to be a chief is always rotational, normally between 3 gates. And so if one gate, the candidate of one gate who became a chief, did something that affected the kingmakers and then affected the community, it means that it's a punishment for his gate. And you may not know what will happen, that next time when it is their turn, they will jump them, all because of your attitude towards them. The way and manner in which you abdicated was not accepted by them, and so they decided to distill you. So please, we have a procedure, and the procedure is to notify them for them to slaughter a sheep. If there is any stool property with you, you account and then render everything back to the family. Then you are free and you become a private citizen.
Thank you very much for speaking with us. Informal Anoche is a historian and a lawyer. Away from that, the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana is raising concerns about an increase in fees across colleges of education, including residential and academic charges. The association says the development is placing a heavy financial burden on trainee teachers, many of whom already struggle to meet basic needs. President of the association, Divine Magbendang, says TTAG, in discussions with the principals of colleges of education and the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, has been in touch to find a lasting solution. He adds that whilst the association acknowledges the economic challenges facing educational institutions, any fee adjustments must be fair and considerate of students' financial realities. Let's have a conversation on this. Joining us on the phone is the president of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Divine Nanija. Divine, thank you very much for your time. Tell us exactly the specific fees that have seen the most significant increases and how, let's compare it to the other previous years.
All right, so thank you so much and good afternoon to you. Yes, but before that, I think I would like to correct the name. The name is Divine Aninja Mabungba, so that maybe going forward, you'll be able to pronounce the name very well. All right, so on the issue of the fees, I think for this particular year is totally different. For instance, we have the level 400 as part of the new reform. We have the in, and then out. So meaning that level 400 are going to rent in town. And these people, they are going to feed themselves as well. And the fees that they are paying for this particular academic year is about 4,000 again. Meanwhile, they are not dwelling or they are not going to reside on these various campuses. And aside that, even the continuous students that have to do with the level 200 and then level 300, they are equally paying about 5,000 Ghana cedis, which we are saying that those fees or that this particular year fees is too much for the trainees, considering the fact that even though we are now in the hostel system whereby they have to be paying for this, but last semester, which is this year, they pay a hostel fee of 500 Ghana cedis. And let's say all of a sudden, or within some few months, they are now paying 1,000 Ghana cedis as a residential fee. That is some of the things that we are looking at. And we are saying that the fees for this particular academic year must be reconsidered, or they have to reconsider that and look at it very well, so that at the end of the day, the trainees are going to be able to afford and they'll be able to report on the set day that they're asking them to report. And again, to the time frame that the vacation, I can say that it was just barely a month. And somebody that is coming to rent and stay in town and feed his or maybe feed on his own is again asking to pay an amount about 5,000 Ghana cedis. That is totally too much. And we are saying that the stakeholders will consider their decision and look at it very well, so that at the end of the day, our membership or our members will be able to afford and report on the set day that they are asking them to report. And to add to that, as we speak, we are also making arrangements to meet the stakeholders, that is the PRINCOF and as well as the tech, so that we can have a broader discussion on these particular issues again and see how best we'll get to a very successful conclusion whereby it will benefit the trainees that are the beneficiary of all these things, and as well as benefit the stakeholders that are all involved.
Thank you very much for speaking with us. Divine, I'm so sorry, Divine, you're going to have to forgive me for the pronunciation of your name. I do not want to mispronounce it, so I'll just leave it as Divine. He's the president of the Ghana Tertiary Education, I beg your pardon, the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana. Stay with me after the break. We'll bring you more. You're welcome back to Newsroom on GHOne TV. I am Serwaa. Amihere's time for some business news.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Kade Ghana has taken a major step towards environmental sustainability with the commissioning of a new wastewater treatment plant at its production facility. The initiative forms part of Kade's broader commitment to responsible manufacturing and reducing its carbon footprint.
To the new system, the company can now treat and reuse 100% of its wastewater in-house, conserving water and minimizing its environmental impact. According to Kade, all treated water meets Environmental Protection Authority standards for reuse in landscaping and other non-potable purposes. In addition to the wastewater plant, the company has also introduced a baghouse filtration system designed to eliminate visible emissions from factory operations, a move that enhances air quality for both employees and nearby communities. Managing Director of Kade Ghana, Max Exulat, said the new facility reflects the company's long-term sustainability vision.
Kade, our purpose is to nourish the world in a safe, responsible and sustainable way. So being a sustainable company, we also want to be a leader in responsible and sustainable manufacturing. This wastewater treatment plant helps us achieve some of our environmental goals. we are able to reduce our environmental impact, and that's the reason why behind our operation we wanted to have an impact, in our community, do the right thing for our people and also the community where we operate. This was the vision that really drove us to build this new wastewater treatment plant.
Plant manager Richard Ajay also highlighted the importance of the project for environmental protection.
So if you look in the site, you can see a lot of solar panels on site. We have projects to really expand it to make sure that the electricity we use is from sustainable uses, from sustainable sources. We also have the air that leaves the site. Our process uses a lot of steam, and in generating steam, we have to allow exhaust air out. If you look around in a lot of industries, what you see is black smoke. You can look at our chimney and not see any smoke, because we've invested in filtering the air to make sure that the surrounding is also clean.
Kade says these innovations reinforce its commitment to sustainability and responsible production practices in Ghana's manufacturing sector.
The Ghana Statistical Service has revealed the country has recorded 7.4 billion Ghana cedis in informal cross-border trade with its neighboring West African countries, Togo, Côte d'Ivoire and Burkina Faso in the fourth quarter of 2024. In contrast, during the same period, the formal trade volume with the outside world stood at 7.9 billion Ghana cedis. According to the service, the data was collected from 321 border points, highlighting a viable intra-regional trade potential that can be harnessed for economic growth. Here is the government statistician, Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu, addressing the media.
In fact, formal trade is about 7.9 billion, and informal trade is about 7.4 billion thereabouts. So basically, we can see immediately that the formal trade that is taking place around these borders or these countries is about the same as what the informal trade. So if we hadn't undertaken this exercise, we wouldn't have known that this is the extent or the volume of informal trade that is also taking place. So this is actually a very important assignment we have undertaken. We are also able to tell from this assignment the goods that are being exported and the goods that are being imported into the country vis-a-vis those three countries. Then we are also able to tell of the three countries which ones is Ghana a net exporter and which one is Ghana a net importer. In fact, for the three countries, when you take Burkina Faso and then you take Côte d'Ivoire, we are a net exporter. We export to those countries more than we import. But when you take Togo, we are a net importer.
Tension is mounting among several communities along the Accra-Kumasi Highway within the Serwaa municipality and the Ayinsuanu district as residents clash with a private real estate developer and members of the Mankata family of the Pampaso. I beg your pardon, over alleged illegal land acquisition.
It's on October 22, 2025. The chiefs and residents of Nsawam Adwejiri municipality warned of possible unrest if government fails to intervene. They claim that part of the disputed land has been handed over to the Garman chair by the private real estate developer, Quan's Building Solution, who then began constructing a wall around over 100 acres without compensating affected families. Former Assembly member for the area, Paul Som Abedi, alleged that the private developer has also ignored the court injunction and continuous work, claiming to have political backing.
Na or the machines abaswa or send crofonioma. Ye demonstration akasimi they are preventing sian man and koye juma wo. And the Quans or the Meko court. Ye were court no from 2021, 2022 na court the injunction eto asase so. Na asema court to kind say asase no yen ya yeti asase so de betuma do so edidi. Me na oka say wo ho a wotwa wo. Ne langard for no gu ho. I will also say, police for why anti-langard for one car see ho and a watch a war no. And which in a langard the phone anti-langard police for no be prevent one langard for no go. justice way.
In a petition to President John Dramani Mahama, the communities declared they would defend their lands by every legitimate means, insisting they are the rightful owners.
Minim say Ghana ha no nipa ba kope to me to wiase nyina dia me ntumi nkyere. Na eba sa no ye ko ne ho. Ye ko asem o ka kire yen ane ma eye me yawo a me pese aban titiru President Mahama me question me bisa ne say ye kwa no ho asise ono na ban na aba nti asase no baba befa no de anti-land guard beba beguso na wa obepe won asem beba ho obebo utuo.
Meanwhile, national security in the eastern region has raised concern over increasing land-related.
That's it for business. Coming up next after that will be sports.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Many thanks for joining me here on Sports Brief. I am Monica Bukari. Head coach of the Black Queens, Kimlas Bjorkengren, says his team is in high spirits and fully prepared for their WAFCON qualifiers against the Pharaohs of Egypt. He emphasized that the squad is made up of experienced players who are performing well in their respective leagues, adding that their fine form gives him confidence ahead of this crucial encounter.
It's great to be back with the girls. Have been too long time since the great tournament that we had. We came together as a really strong group. We performed well on the pitch, and we had so much fun off the pitch as well. I think when we now came back, we are in a good place. Of course, you always want more days to prepare for important games here against Egypt, but otherwise a really good energy, and we're looking forward to play another 2 games here. We know that we have a strong squad that did really well in the summer, like I said, but there are so many players with good potential that haven't been in the squad before, so of course we watch them as well, and we try to rotate and give new players a chance in the squad. Because in the end of the day, we always need to have the best players on the pitch for Ghana. Yeah, we will only have like 2 days together here in the preparation for the first game. So, of course, that...
Now, the Black Queens duo Chantel Boy-Hloka and the Princess Owusu says the team is fully prepared ahead of their crucial first leg encounter with the Pharaohs of Egypt in WAFCON qualifiers this afternoon. They are confident of securing a positive result and have called on Ghanaians to rally behind the team for victory. These 2-leg ties qualifiers will determine Ghana's qualification for the next Women's Africa Cup of Nations tournament.
Months since we had the AFCON. Now we're back together in preparation for the Egypt game. It's been good to see everyone's face again, get the group back together with the good vibes. We've had a good session yesterday and another good session today, and we're looking forward to it.
Training has been really serious. It's been very detailed, and we can't wait to start the game because we know how important this game is for us, and I believe with the preparation that we would go far. Obviously, the fans would play big impacts in our performances, so we pray that they have hope in us to pray for us, and yeah, we will do our best to deliver.
Now, still with the Black Queens, lawyer and CAF match commissioner Na Odufuli Norte is confident that the Black Queens will put up a strong performance when they face the female Pharaohs of Egypt in this first leg encounter.
As for the Queens, I know that they will definitely give up their best. As their motto goes, Black Queens, they are more than able So we know that with the support of Ghanaians, they would excel and will qualify for the AFCON.
And that will be it for sports. My name is Monica Bukari. But do stay tuned. We have international news up next.
To an immediate ceasefire in its war with Ukraine. President Donald Trump says he cancelled a planned meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, explaining that he didn't feel progress would be made. Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky has welcomed the sanctions, while Russia's foreign ministry has said the move will be counterproductive, insisting it will not significantly affect the country's economy. That's it for the news. On behalf of the entire team, led by Mrs. Alice Ainin, thank you very much for your time. The news team will be back at 6:30 with news tonight. I am Serwaa.